Hello, my name is John Russo, and I'm going to be your instructor for this course this semester. I wanted to put together an introduction video to, tell you a little bit about myself and my background, tell you about the expectations of the online course, how I have it structured, what it looks like in Canvas, and what you can expect throughout the semester. So let me tell you a little bit about my background. I was born and raised here in Southern California. I went to community college. When I left high school, wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, like maybe many of you, so I attended Santa Ana College. I took a few business classes and really enjoyed them, so I decided to major in business. I finished up my associate's degree and then transferred to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo to complete my business administration bachelor's degree with an emphasis in marketing. I also have a master's degree from Cal State Dominguez Hills in business administration, again, an emphasis in marketing. Just want to share with you, for those of you who have maybe some different educational goals, I highly recommend, if you can complete an associate's degree while you're here at IVC, it's very beneficial because we never know with our educational path where life takes us. And for some of us, we may intend to go for a bachelor's or a master's degree, but life happens and we don't get to complete it. If you don't finish your associate's degree, which could only be a matter of maybe taking a few more classes above and beyond your general education, once you've finished, the only thing you have to put on a resume is that you have some college education. When employers are looking at resumes, they see that you have set out a goal, you've accomplished a goal, if that's completing an associate's degree, if that's completing a certificate, or moving on to other post-secondary degrees. It also shows that you're determined to finish. You've understand the process of how to learn, so you're very trainable as well. So if you can complete an associate's degree, I highly recommend that. Once I finished my degree at Cal Poly San Luis, I went into the workforce. I got a job as a management trainee in distribution. So I was working for a poultry company where I went in as a management trainee. I got to manage and oversee the warehouse, set up some incentive programs, was really looking at how to make the production process more efficient. So I learned lots about distribution and the operational process. From there, I had the option and opportunity to go into sales. So I spent about 20 years in sales, and it was in a variety of different industries. So the first industry I started was in the wireless industry, and I started as an account manager where I was learning customer service and working directly with mostly B2B or business to business customers. From there, I was promoted into sales role. So I was a sales executive, selling new contracts, working with CEOs, chief operating officers, chief marketing officers, and working with them in terms of their communication devices. In the wireless industry, I worked for a company that actually developed one of the first, what we called was a two-way pager, which was really the first generation of texting devices where we could send text messages back and forth over these two-way pagers, which was the inception of texting. I also had the opportunity to work as a project and product development manager, where I did a lot of training on new products, both in-house and to our customers. After being in the wireless industry, I was in a host of other industries, consumer and packaged goods. I was in marketing, so I actually sold advertising and marketing. And I also spent some time in the mortgage industry. I was in the mortgage industry during the 2008 recession, the mortgage meltdown that we had. I was right in the midst of that and got some great experience in the unfortunate situation of watching our housing crisis take place, which led to our recession. So it was a very interesting time, a lot learned from that, and I will share some of that kind of throughout the semester. I'm also an entrepreneur. So one of my first ventures was starting a ice blended coffee beverage that I was working on getting into the grocery industry. I sold it at a number of fairs and festivals and was working on packaging and created this ice coffee beverage, which was really taking off. I then kind of went back into a corporate environment. But also in my entrepreneurial ventures, I really love the food service industry. So I bought into a pizzeria franchise, and I owned that for about 4 years. And so I learned really from soup to nuts what it took running a business, from developing the menu to actually tossing and flipping the pizzas, to developing the marketing, to hiring and firing, and really looking at the operational effectiveness. So that was a great experience in one of the ventures that I've had in owning my own business. I've been teaching since leaving corporate America, where I've spent again over almost 22 years. Started teaching in 2006, teaching business and entrepreneurship classes from the introduction to business to a multitude of the entrepreneurship classes in starting your own small business. I'm actually the faculty lead for the entrepreneurship department here at Irvine Valley College. So that's a little bit about myself. Now I'd kind of like to go through and tell you about the expectations of the course, the way I have it structured, and what Canvas, our learning management system, looks like as well. All right, let's go through and kind of look at the course structure and how I have it set up here. So once you get into Canvas and into the course, it should take you to the home screen. And on the home screen, I might have announcements here that I will be sending throughout the semester. I'll be communicating about, again, assignments, expectations, things that are coming up, maybe things that are going on campus. This home screen will also show you each of the weekly modules that you will click on to go into that week's module. Okay, there's a little bit of information here, again, talking about how I communicate extensively through email. So if you're missing those communications and not reading them, that's going to put you at a disadvantage in the class. You'll also have all of the introduction and week 1 expectations and everything that needs to be completed for your course here in the home screen. Okay, I try to keep the course structure as simple as possible. So this is the home screen that you'll come to when you go into Canvas, and then you would click on the corresponding module depending on what week it is. Okay, when you get in to those modules, the first one here is the course information and syllabus module. This will give you a lot of information, maybe answer a lot of questions for you about the course. When you go into the course info module, the first thing that you'll see is the syllabus. Please be sure you read through the syllabus. There's a lot of important information about the grading scale, when assignments are due, if there's acceptance of late assignments, again, my expectations, the whole kind of format and structure of the course and what's expected. You might also see some extra credit opportunities here. Here's my information on how to reach out to me. So here's my instructor contact information. And it will have my office hours. It will also have the opportunity to how to get a hold of me through Zoom if you'd like to do Zoom office hours. And again, a little bit about my background and my work history. Okay, so once we've gone into that course information module and syllabus here, there's also a few other bits of important information that I'd like for you to read through. And as we can see on the screen here, there are also the instructions on how to access Canvas, registration details, important information about the textbook. Okay, so that is the course information module. The other modules that we have here will be each of the weekly modules and the corresponding dates. So if we go in and let's say we click on the week 1 module, it will take us to everything that is due that week for this particular course. Okay, and I try to put it in chronological order in completing each of the assignments in this particular order, but you'll see there's a number of things to complete at least the first week. This course may have a publisher's learning management system where you'll do some of the assignments and the quizzes, but you can see all of the due dates are here. And if this is worth points, okay, and you can click right on that link and it will bring you to the assignment. So these are the things that need to be completed, for example, the first week. And I have it structured where if you have gone in and completed it or watched a video, then it will put a check mark here so you know that you have completed that. Okay, so that's the structure. Each module will look like that. Now you'll notice that the way I set up my due dates is they are staggered throughout the week. So not everything is due at the end of the week. I might have some assignments due on a Wednesday, a discussion due on a Thursday, maybe an assignment's due on a Friday, and the remainder due on maybe that following Monday. So be sure that you are looking at the due dates and you understand when assignments are due. You can also use the calendar on the left side here. It's a great way to get a visual of what to expect throughout the week. And so if you click on the calendar, it may show you, again, all of the assignments that are listed here. And it will show you what they are, when they're due, and maybe the point values. I don't recommend that you go into the calendar to access the assignments because these are only things that have point values. In the modules, I have videos that I want you to watch and other things that you may be doing as well. But again, when you click on the calendar, you will see, and it will upload the assignments and the due date so you can get a visual of that to see when everything is due. Okay. The last portion that I wanted to show you is the grades tab. Okay, so when you are on a Canvas in the left navigation bar, you will see the grades tab. This is where you can see your grades on assignments. It should notify you when something has been graded. It's also where I provide feedback. I highly recommend that you go in and look at the feedback so you know if there's some things that need to be corrected for the next time you're reading that and seeing that. So it'll show you the assignments. Again, here's the due dates, the due times, and the point values. You might find, for example, as I scroll down here, this particular assignment has a score, and you'll see the icon here that shows 2. There are 2 comments here. If I click on that, it will show me the comments. Sometimes I'll do an audio comment. Sometimes I might just say, you did a great job on this assignment. Or I may say, see my comments by clicking on the link to the assignment. So if I click on the link here, it will bring me into the document that you submitted. And then if you view the feedback, I may have some annotations on the document next to the paragraph or whatever you wrote here. Okay, so read that. I might say, great job, but add more detail and explanation. This area, this was well done. Okay, so make sure you're seeing and checking that feedback so you know what you might need to improve on future assignments, and all collaborating on documents. So that will be there for you as well. Lastly, in terms of communicating with myself or with other classmates, is if you go to the inbox here in the blue area, the left navigation bar, this is where you can send emails that will go not only through Canvas, but it will also get emailed directly to my inbox, so I can respond to your emails there as well. Okay, so those are the basic structures of how I have Canvas set up. Again, I try to keep it as simple as possible. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Don't be afraid to stop by my office hours if you want to talk. If you're starting a business and you need some advice, or I can connect you with somebody to help you get started with your business, or you have some questions just regarding your educational path or your major, feel free to reach out to me. All righty, so other than that, I want to wish you guys a great semester. All righty, so other than that, I want to wish you guys a great semester. I wish you best of luck in the online class, and I look forward to seeing you online.